Thank you, David.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a very special guest. This man has a lot of accomplishments. We're going to dive deep. Please, sir, introduce yourself to the rest of the world.
Hey YouTube, hey guys, my name is Andre with 360 and Beyond. I'm also a fellow YouTuber, someone who has always looked up to David. I've got a lot of information from David, learned a lot from him. And yeah, I'm just here, man, enjoying PBX. It's great. This is my first PBX, and it has definitely given me the fire that I need to push my photo booth business further.
I like that. I like the idea of diving into something where you know as soon as you step foot in, it's like everyone gets me. And it's like a library specifically for all the entire genres that we're interested in as photo boothers.
Yes, exactly, because I've been to conferences before, business conferences, but they were more for like realtors and, you know, just different businesses who want to expand. But this is the first conference I've been where everybody is doing the same thing that I do, and they have the love for the photo booth business like I do, so it's been great.
Yeah, you definitely feel it. It's like going to church on a Sunday. When you leave, you feel fired up.
It's like a kid in the candy store looking at all these photo booths. It's amazing.
Yeah. So tell me, right now, currently in your photo booth business, how many photo booths do you have?
So I currently have 5 photo booths.
What type of photo booths?
360, the DSLR photo booth, and iPad photo booth.
Is one right now in demand more than the other?
I would say yes. A lot of people love the 360 photo booth. As you know, it's like the one that's trending right now. But I definitely get a lot of inquiries and a lot of events for the DSLR photo booth.
Okay. Now, when it comes to these photo booths, you kind of see the trend. What do you think about maybe considering doing free events? Have you done free events, and what were the results?
I've done free events before. I believe it's a good way to market. You never know who's going to be at that event. So a lot of people don't like free events because obviously you're not getting paid. But a lot of the times, delayed gratification is better than instant gratification. So you're not going to be paid now, but definitely in the long run, it's going to benefit you and your business.
I love that. When it comes to the business, competition is continuously growing. I see that across the board from everyone that I've been interviewing. Do you run Google ads, any type of campaigns, and how much money do you spend on a monthly basis?
So I do run Google ads. I would say it makes up about 70% of the leads that I get. My Google ad budget is $800. Okay. Which I would really want to expand to $1,500, but you know, I'm steadily growing. I started at $300 and realized, wow, I'm actually getting leads. So I increased it to $500, and now I'm at $800. But I do that as well. I get a lot of word of mouth referrals, and I've just started recently doing Instagram and Facebook ads again.
Right on. And have you got to a point in your business where you're more of like the dispatch manager and you have a couple of contractors or employees?
So I have photo booth attendants, but for the most part, no, I do have a few photo booth attendants that work with me. They're all obviously part-time, but for the most part, I do everything, which has definitely taken a toll on me. And I'm in year 4 now, and I realize, okay, if you want to expand, you're definitely gonna have to build a team. But for some reason in this business, it poses a challenge to retain. Your attendance. I'm not sure why. Hiring is definitely an issue, but yeah, I'm still here trying to figure it out.
Very cool, man. Thank you for being transparent. I think, you know, swallowing your ego and being humble is when you really can soak up a ton of game.
Yes, for sure.
Right, because I know what you're talking about the high turnover. So yes. I think that I have a little bit of experience to share with you that maybe will help you.
Let me hear.
I'm more than happy. So before I forget, I should just jump right to it. So when it comes to the interviewing process, what I learned is, man, it sucks because you spend you invest a lot of money into these people, hoping like this person is going to carry some weight and they might hold down the fort while I'm at another event. Right. I'm going to get minimal calls and text messages because they are a self-starter.
Exactly.
They think on their feet.
Right.
They're going to represent the brand.
Yeah.
You know, congratulations on the fact that you actually faced the dragon, and that's you finally handed over the steering wheel to someone, and people are so afraid to say, but no one's as passionate as me.
About your business, yes.
Right. But you're like, it's time. There's larger companies, there's corporations, there's enterprises, and the CEOs of those businesses had to change their thought. Like, I need to pass on, I need to basically pivot into a leadership role and start delegating some of these tasks?
I think it's very important because I thought I was growing at a good pace until I got here. My 5 photo booths, I've met people who have 30 photo booths, 35. So there's so much more space to grow, but you can't do it all by yourself. So that's why I've definitely focused on trying to build a team, essentially.
Let's talk about team. I was talking to a gentleman earlier, so it's fresh on my mind. He's having the same issue you were experiencing. Is like, I find help, but then a month later, they're not even available anymore, or they stopped maybe showing up on time. Little things like that, right? Delay text messages. So I told him, maybe your interview process is not that great. So I asked people, what's your onboarding process like? And the reason I asked this question is because I think as business owners, we want to make sure we put out fires as fast as possible. So if we find someone, be like, okay, you do this, but we didn't really get to get into their core, what their passion is and where their mind is at short-term and long-term. What's worked really well for me is utilizing Indeed, because with Indeed is I put out a job post and I put a very strong description, and that description might seem a little anal, but at the same time, it sets the expectation.
Right.
So then what I'll do is I'll make a straight up Zoom call, right? And I'll invite 10 people to the Zoom call. And then I'll have my field manager interview them. And then out of those 10 people, we'll probably invite 5 people to a second interview that I'll be part of.
Right.
And then out of those 5 people, maybe 2 or 3 will actually give them a conditional job offer.
Okay.
And then take those 2 or 3 people to the events. People might be thinking, David, you're crazy. Why would you take 3 people to an event? Because you have to pay them hourly.
Yes.
But the way I see it is, if I take 3 people with me to an event, and they get real experience and they get the exposure, and I get to see them in real life, how they react with people, whether they're people that are drunk, old people that need help, little kids that are taking the bubble guns, you get to see
how they react to certain different situations.
Because remember, reaction is something that you can't act.
Right.
And act is something that you do. Like, we're putting an act right now. We're being professionals. We're spokesmen right now. We're holding it down. But how we react
to real life scenarios.
Exactly. So that's when you see it. So what happens from that point on is, yes, I might have spent maybe a couple $100 or less, but now I can move forward with, out of the 3, 2 people. And that's how you find rock stars. Because a lot of people will say, well, I hired my brother-in-law, I hired my cousin.
That was me, yeah.
I hired my son's friends.
Yes.
It's like, yes, that kind of puts a band-aid on the injury.
Yes.
But what's the long-term solution is finding people that are aligned with your mission, that have the energy and that have the ambition and desire to be a hype man, to be a photographer, to be lead traffic, and be a good manager.
Yes, I think that was my mistake at first, and I wouldn't really call it a mistake, more of a lesson. At first, I started to get a lot of double bookings, 2-3 events in one day, so I needed attendance. So I would go for the first person who would be available. Yeah. I can train you and do it, and obviously they would leave after a certain time because their vision wasn't aligned with me, with my vision, and nobody's going to treat your business the way you do.
Another thing is, for these individuals that I train, I always ask them, if you guys are interested in doing this for yourselves and you have intentions of starting your own business, let me know so that I can mentor you different. And all of a sudden,
how different would you mentor them?
I basically train them to be a business owner, and I'm harder on them. Meaning, if this was your business, what would you do?
Right.
And then they're like, oh, they grasp it a little different, because why tell them, if we can accelerate your learning curve, you can become independent much faster. I can provide you with, you can basically be my contractor. You can start your own business, and I will be happy to send you clients because now I know your work ethic.
Absolutely.
So that's how basically it's like, when you open up to them, and you can become a mentor versus just a manager to them.
Absolutely. I agree. I've seen you talk to a lot of people, and you're very knowledgeable about your photo booth. So yeah, hats off to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So
okay, Andre. So you have 5 or 6 booths? 6 booths.
5.
5 booths. Okay. And where are you at right now? Because I said competition is growing, and it's getting really difficult to distinguish what should I do, who should I compete against, and what exactly should I be doing different so that I can stay booked consistently at prices that I feel are worth my time.
Give me that question again.
Yes. So right now in your business, where do you think the business is at right now? Where do you want to get to, and what's holding you back?
So I want to get to kind of stepping away from the business.
So you mean that you don't want to be in front, you want to be in the back end leading from the back? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. So I want to focus more on the back end, the marketing, the lead gen. I want to be the person who is just focused on getting more leads.
Yeah.
I think that's very important because my time is kind of split right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, customer service, production, logistics, everything, software, training, all of that. So I kind of want to take a step back and focus on the more important things that's going to scale my business.
I agree with you. In fact, let's just so I can really relate to what you just said.
Trust.
Because when it comes to running Google ads, you need to check those daily. You need to check them weekly and bi-weekly.
Really?
And so
I actually check them monthly.
You check them monthly?
Yeah.
So I don't know how long you've been running ads for, but I can tell you that when you're running ads, if you're doing it monthly, if you're spending $800 a month, then you could probably check them bi-weekly. And this is what I mean. The more money you spend, the more data you're collecting.
Absolutely.
And the more analytics you get every single day.
Right.
So some people, if their budget is 800, they're only going to get so much data that then they can use to make the next move.
Okay.
If you were spending, let's say, 1,600 a month, then you can get twice as much data in a shorter span, which then you use to your benefit. Okay, how are we going to increase conversions? So what I like doing is, and I'm sharing this with you. You might be doing this already, is because just like you, I have the idea of like I just want to focus on the marketing.
Yes.
Because I feel like I love analytics. I feel like this is a reward because you get to experiment with something and see how people react to it. And then you're like, I'm enlightened.
Right.
And then right away you're like, anyone can go out there and do an event, but I want to do the technical stuff.
Yes.
Because I feel like this is basically the backbone of the business is like leads, right?
And then the more data you have, you can start tweaking things more to kind of scale it more. You understand?
Absolutely understand. So what I like doing is I like feeding ChatGPT my Google Analytics.
Oh, okay.
And so what I'll do is I'll take pictures of my campaigns that show the impression, the click, the CTR, the ad spend, the conversions.
Nice.
And then on top of that, I'll feed it the data sheets of what time, what city, what demographics. So I give ChatGPT all that information so that I don't have to spend so much time because I gotta go do like
you have other things to do, of course,
like
yes.
little things like that.
Yeah.
And then ChatGPT says, well, I can see that right here your return on ad spend was this much.
Okay.
And so what I do is I use ChatGPT for that purpose, and it's changed my business and my life around.
That's actually a good idea.
Because ChatGPT does all the calculating for me.
So I have something similar to it. I just got it, and so I don't have too much information about it. It's called Sintra. Have you
Sintra?
Sintra.
With the S?
It's like 12 employees that supposedly run your business for you. I've been getting Sintra AI. So one does data research, product development, customer service, all of that. So it's kind of like ChatGPT, but they do different tasks for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also wanted to ask you, what is your take on rebranding?
Rebranding in a sense where you are going to be white labeling, or rebranding where you're going to extend your business and provide a similar niche, or
so rebranding in the sense you want to change your business name, your business logo, maybe the domain. What would be your take on that?
I would love to hear your philosophy as far as why you're considering that.
Okay, so I kind of want to appeal to a more high-end client, and I feel my name doesn't. Not that it doesn't align with it, but I have a better name in mind, a better logo, better color scheme, because all those things are important when you're trying to appeal to a different client.
Okay.
So what do you think about like changing the domain name? I've had it for 4 years, and your domain name is like your credit score. The longer you have it, the higher your score. Mm-hmm. And if you do change it,
to the side.
if you do change the domain name, it can affect you negatively in the ranking. So how would you go about that? Would you redirect?
Well, okay, so when it comes to how much organic traffic you are getting, do you feel like it's grown over the last few years? Has it just been like dead, or?
It has grown.
It has grown,
Yes.
okay.
steadily. It has grown.
Right. So we know that organic SEO is great because it doesn't require us to spend more money on Google Ads, right?
Right.
So do you mind telling me exactly what your current name is?
Yes, the 360 and beyond.
So 360 and beyond caters a lot to the idea of a 360 service.
Which is what I'm trying to step away from, because
Okay.
I've expanded my booths, and the 360 and beyond is great. I added the beyond because I wanted you to know that it's more than just 360, because I also have the Draw Me bot, which is very cool. But I wanted to step away from the 360 in the name itself.
So because I did something similar already. So I went from Canary Capital Rentals to Canary Capital Productions.
Right, exactly.
But when I was running keywords, I was using 360 booth in my H1s.
Okay.
And I was using tags, same thing, for SEO purposes.
Right.
So here's the thing that you can do. You can keep your domain.
Okay.
Right? You can start off with a subdomain so that I can start piggyback off your actual existing domain, your primary domain, right?
So would that be like redirecting your domain?
Yes.
Okay.
But here's my philosophy behind it. You have a website already built, right?
Right.
You're also thinking of giving that thing an uplift as far as like completely changing the aesthetics
Absolutely.
and theme.
Yeah.
And who do you want to attract?
More corporate clients and luxury weddings.
Okay. When it comes to luxury weddings and corporate clients, here's a couple of things that you can do right away that are going to cost less money.
Okay.
You have a website right now. If I was a bride and I went on your website and I look around and be like, this is very general, I don't feel like it's fixated and really geared towards weddings.
Correct.
Right? But you're running Google Ads already.
Yes.
So then people go to that page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Corporates, the same thing. What you can do is you don't necessarily have to rebrand the entire thing.
Right.
And you're gonna get different feedback from different people. I'm just telling you what's worked for me and why I did it.
Okay.
Within your website, you can start building pages on that website. So when you're running Google Ads with keywords specifically for weddings,
It'll go to that page.
it'll go directly to that page. And what's wonderful is that your existing website with the existing domain is still getting that actual traffic, which really helps. And because it already carries weight, it's already ranking for certain keywords. The keywords aren't changing drastically. It's just a couple of keywords. Like for example, you're going from wedding events to corporate events. And then you're gonna put in photo booth services, photo booth rental within the description.
Okay.
And you already have, go ahead.
So a whole rebranding is not necessary.
I just feel like you would be making a move and it would benefit, but it would take a long time to see a return.
I know that. And again, I know instant gratification is cool. Not that's what I'm trying to get, but I'm actually okay with the long run because it's what's gonna benefit me in the long run. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I do want to find the best way to do it that's not gonna hurt my business.
Then what I would do is build dedicated pages on your existing website.
Yeah.
And then when you run Google Ads, you know how you can actually set a specific page within your website, meaning they won't even go to another page if you have a dedicated link where you want them to land. So if you want a campaign specifically for weddings and wedding planners, then when they go to click on that link, it's going to take them directly to the wedding page on your website.
Okay.
Well, what you did right there is you created an association between what you were marketing on the Google search engine and where they actually landed.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, while you're doing that with both weddings and corporates, if you were to build a corporate website, instead of building an entire website for a corporate, dedicate one page with all of that on that specific page. That specific page is going to have its own H1, H2s, and tags on those photos and videos. On the back end, you can gradually start working on that specific wedding website, but you're not losing out on the side. It's like you said, right now, you're putting in the work, but you will have something baking in the background.
Right, slowly. That's actually good advice. I appreciate that.
And then what happens is when you build your new website, because your old website is still up and running and getting traffic and it's being constantly indexed, what's great is that then you can put the domain from your new website onto the old website, and that acts as a backlink. And because your website is within the same niche and already gets traffic, it helps with the ranking.
SEO, okay. That's good. I see why you're the GOAT, man.
Yeah, so it's just me, trying to do like whatever I can for my business.
Yes.
And so I I talk to freelancers on Upwork,
Right.
on Fiverr, and I ask them questions because like I always feel with Fiverr and Upwork is like hurry up and buy.
Right. Okay.
And so I always ask them, well, tell me exactly what you're going to measure, what you intend to do, and what results can I expect, and give me a timeline as well. And so, people sell you backlinks, and you can get it's called DA, domain authority.
Okay.
So it ranges from like 20s to 35s to 50s to 75s. So the higher the number, the more it's going to cost you, because it's supposed to be a website that receives a lot more traffic. But don't be fooled by that. What you want to do is see how much traffic that actual website is getting, not exactly, how relevant it is to your niche. It has to have a couple of check boxes.
Right.
Relevant traffic, the actual niche, where's that website located? And so it's just not about like a website that looks beautiful. It's a website that's actually going to work well for you, and it's going to complement your website.
Makes sense. Okay. Sounds good.
You got to stay questioning, like, what are you really going to do for me?
Yeah, there's a lot to learn. This is day 2, and the seminars have really opened my mind to a lot of things that I can change with my website, with my marketing. Have you heard of the pitch deck?
Pitch deck from Photo Booth Marketing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use that?
I use parts of it.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I like taking things and kind of creating my own delivery.
Right.
But there's a lot of golden nuggets, which is why there'll be, for example, like a couple of paragraphs that I feel like I like how this is worded.
Right.
I'm gonna try this pitch specifically.
Okay.
So yes, pitch decks are great. Photo Booth Marketing does a really good job at creating curiosity to actually talk to the client and start that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna be based on your standard photo booth rates. It's more of a personalized package.
Got you. Oh, he's standing in front of my phone.
Yeah, I don't think that man's aware of his surroundings much, brother.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for this. Are you leaving today?
No, man, I'm here till the very end. I got a lot of work to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have one more day, and then it's back to Orlando, back to work.
I noticed you checked out the booth a lot, right?
Yeah.
Being a photo booth business owner, you look at things a little differently because you've been on the grind.
Yes.
What is your feedback, being non-biased, like when you look at the booth? Because the reason I'm asking you specifically because you own 5 booths.
Right.
So you've seen a lot of booths here today.
Yes.
What are some areas of opportunity, or what are some the things that you think are good, or some things that need tweaking?
Honestly, I love the booth. It looks really good. I like the material. So to be honest, I heard someone say that because it's metal, they're afraid that it might be like dented or something like that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I think that's the only thing that I don't know how you would change that, but that's the only drawback. But the aesthetics of it are amazing, and it looks really good. Yeah, and I like the back end of it where you can put the camera from vertical to horizontal. That's really cool.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's the second generation, you said, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
The first one didn't have that.
The first one, it had 2 mounts.
2 mounts.
Meaning, if you wanted to go from landscape to portrait, you would have to take out the landscape and put the mount for the portrait.
Which is not like it takes time away, right? Like
it wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
It was
more
cool
complicated.
because the option was there, but how can we streamline it?
Yeah, how to make it easier.
Yeah.
You definitely did a good job on that.
Great, man.
Yeah, I love the booth.
You said you are in the YouTube space.
Yes.
People that are watching the video that made it this far into the video, what can they learn from your channel? Because I know you do a lot of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I speak a lot on the 360 photo booth. That's how I started. And I try to do tutorials. I've met a lot of people here who've seen my YouTube videos. Shout out to you guys. And I just try to, just like you, anything that you learn, I try to teach them, because there's no greater feeling for me than to help somebody else make money. And I've done that a lot on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of emails, a lot of messages, And so that's really just my goal, is just to help as much people make money from this business as possible.
And tell us again the YouTube name.
It's Andre Lewis. So you type in Andre Lewis photo booth, you should be able to find me.
Right on, man.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Andre, it was a pleasure sitting down with you and talking business, man.
Yes.
You know, anyone that's really passionate about their business, I always have a great conversation with them because there's so much things that we can relate, and also a lot of things that we can actually bounce off one another and say,
Yes.
I'm going to apply that. Before I let you go, you said you've been here for 2 days so far.
Chris.
What's one thing you're going to address as soon as you get back home? Something that you learned that you said, I'm going to apply this immediately.
I've learned so much. Where would I start? So I would definitely be more aggressive with the marketing. So most of the information that I've considered golden nuggets came from photo booth marketing.
Okay.
And I really think I'm going to, because I've hesitated on purchasing the monthly subscription from them so I can get the marketing materials. I think I'm going to do that. I see there's a lot of value in it. And from what I've learned in the 1 hour that Ursula was speaking, I definitely need to be in the community monthly. So for sure, I'm going to be more aggressive with the marketing, and I'm going to sign up for photo booth marketing.
Yeah. I would say try it. I did it for a few months.
Yeah.
What I love about it is that you guys meet every week.
Every week, right?
You meet
it keeps
every
you
week.
going, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Accountability, man.
Yes. This is what I needed.
Brother.
David.
Thank you for the love. Hey, man, thank you for being so patient, bro. I think
Yes.
yesterday you were here too.
Yeah.
I didn't get to you, man.
He was talking to everybody. Everybody wanted to talk to David, so I had no chance to talk to him, but I've learned a lot from you, bro.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to sit down with you and have a conversation. And you're going to be here next year, I'm sure.
You know what? If I'm here next year, the only reason I'm coming is I need to be on stage.
Yes.
If I'm not going to be on stage, I'm just not going to show up. That's basically what I told myself.
Let's speak it to the universe. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I see you here right now by Snappic, so it's just the level's going up, right? So you definitely get there, man, and I hope to be there with you eventually, because
Why not?
I'm definitely. The photo booth business started off as a side hustle for me, but it's definitely turned into one of my loves.
You took your phone?
Oh, it's right there. No, it's right
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, somebody put it on.
All right,
Yeah, it started as a side hustle for me, but so it started as a side hustle for me, but it definitely turned into a love of mine. So I definitely want to be, much bigger in the industry.
Yeah.
And just impart as much knowledge as possible. So thanks again, man.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you so much for reciprocating the support.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Andre.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.